Good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Moreno Valley. I call this meeting to order on July 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. I invite Commissioner Baker to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hand over heart, begin.
May we now have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Zeitz,
Here.
Commissioner Terrell, Commissioner Stefan,
Present.
Commissioner Dejanay,
Here.
Commissioner Kobian,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Baker,
Here.
Chairperson Gonzalez.
Here.
Thank you.
We are now going to move to the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion- Motion by Commissioner Baker and a second by Commissioner Zeitz. May you please start the vote? Motion carries 7-0. Before we hear public comments this evening, I ask and encourage everyone participating to keep their comments respectful towards others, especially towards the individual speaking. I embrace and support the First Amendment right to free speech, including everyone's right to speak at this meeting and share his or her views about issues concerning our city. Any person wishing to speak either in the public comment section of the agenda, scheduled items, or public hearings must fill out a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form must be submitted to the secretary prior to the end of the public comment period. During the public comment period for each item, including items not on the agenda, each member of the public who has signed up to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. The public must direct their comments to the chairperson of the commission. Now we will move into public comments on any item not on the agenda. Are there any speakers for items not on the agenda?
We have one speaker, Mr. Bob Palomares.
Good evening, commission, audience, and staff. I like this discovery thing that you're going to be talking about. I think that's great. I have a little concern here about, 2 years ago here in Moreno Valley, we were ranked number 3 when it came down to finances. This city, number 3 in the nation. I wouldn't like to see where we're at now. And I know that you people, the Planning Commission, can only work when items are brought before you. And lately, that's been pretty thin. I know in the past, 2 years ago, we were rolling, and things have really died down. And sometimes you gotta cancel Planning Commission meetings because there's nothing to approve or look into. And all that comes down to, in my opinion, is poor leadership at the mayoral seat. I've been watching it from the very beginning. And it seems like when you put somebody in there, and sometimes what you vote for, that's what you get. We have somebody that has very little life experience because of his age. No job experience because I don't think he's ever held a job. Any of you people sitting up there are older, at least I would think above your 30s, would be more than qualified to handle what it takes to be a mayor. If we go another 2 years, like we've done these 2 years, we've fallen back. We're going to be in real trouble. Then what's going to happen? We're going to say we got to raise taxes. That's what's going to happen. Because, you know, if you want to pay your bills, you got to have money coming in. And the thing is that, you know, this mayor's embroiled in so much controversy and legal matters. He's costing the city money that people don't even know. Probably most of these people sitting here in the audience have no idea what he's been involved in. But if you look into it, you'll see it from the very beginning, from illegal appointments to right now he's in litigation. And you know, he's costing the city more money than he's brought in. And that's no good. You know, we need somebody that's going to care about the taxpayer and see what's their best interest and not his personal agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palomares. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent calendar. Items under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and non-controversial, and may be enacted by one motion unless a member of the commission requests that an item be removed for separate action. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard before action on the consent calendar. Questions or comments from the public on a consent calendar matter must pertain to the subject under consideration. At this time, would any commissioner like to pull an item from the consent calendar for a separate vote or discussion? Seeing none, do we have any public comments for items on the consent calendar?
We do not have any public comment. Thank you.
May I have a motion and second to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move that we accept the consent calendar submitted.
I'll second.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Baker and seconded by Commissioner Steffens. May we please start the vote? Motion carries 7-0. Non-public hearing items. Next item on the agenda is the non-public hearing items. We have no items. Next item are the public hearing items. The next item on the agenda is conditional use permit, PEN 24-0040, to establish a preschool within existing classroom spaces at the Discovery Christian Church campus. May we please have the staff report?
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. Robert Flores, planning official. Making the presentation tonight is our assistant planner, Grace Espino.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. Grace Espino Salcedo, Assistant Planner. The project before you this evening is a request to consider a conditional use permit to establish a preschool within existing classroom spaces at the Discovery Christian Church campus. The project site is located at 27555 Alessandro Boulevard, situated at the southeast corner of Alessandro Boulevard and Oliver Street, within the residential 5R5 zone. The project site is currently approved and developed as a church within 2 buildings. Building 1 is developed as the worship center, and Building 2 consists of classrooms and offices. Surrounding land uses consist of vacant residential lots to the north and south, an established single-family residential development to the east, and a single-family residential development that is currently under construction to the west. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to establish a preschool within 8 existing classroom spaces at the Discovery Christian Church campus. The project site is accessible from existing driveways along Alessandro Boulevard and Oliver Street. The proposed project provides adequate parking for the proposed use and meets the municipal code's minimum parking requirements for schools. Proposed preschool will utilize 8 existing classroom spaces within Building 2, currently used for child-centered Sunday school classrooms for the Discovery Christian Church. The preschool will operate Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and will employ 15 to 20 staff at full capacity. Church services and preschool operations will occur in separate buildings or at separate times, therefore there will be no overlap. The proposed project includes 3 fenced playgrounds, shaded by solid and lattice patio covers with additional shading provided by the existing trees and buildings. These areas will serve as outdoor recreation spaces for the students. The proposed preschool is secured with fences and gates. Since the publication of the agenda, one member of the general public has inquired about the project in person, and 29 additional public comment letters have been received and provided to you at the dais. The proposed project as designed and conditioned meets all zoning requirements, development standards, and design specifications set forth in the general plan and the municipal code. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 2024-28, determining that the proposed project is categorically exempt from the provisions of the California Environmental Quality Act under Class 1, existing facilities, and Class 32 infill development projects, categorical exemptions, and the common sense exemption in accordance with CEQA guidelines, and approving the proposed project subject to the attached conditions of approval. At this time, staff and the applicant are available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Are there any commissioner questions for staff at this time? Okay.
Yeah, I had a question. I already actually have the answer, but I just wanted to kind of re-ask this question. Because there's no CEQA, the building is already existing. They're already just moving and creating a preschool within the buildings. What brings a item like this before the commission?
The CUP is in the municipal code, in our permitted uses table. And as such, it is required that it come before the Planning Commission to establish the use with a conditional use permit.
If I may, Commissioner Dejanay, just to add to what Grace just said, this is establishing a new use. Our code does require that this type of use is approved via a conditional use permit, and that's what the applicant submitted. The reason it's before the commission today, it's because the code also has a requirement that if this use is within 300 feet of any residential property, it needs to be heard by the Planning Commission. If it's not within 300 feet, then that decision is made at the director's level. So it essentially is here before you because it is close to residential properties.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. At this time, would the applicant like to speak?
Director of the school, and it's just our privilege to be here this evening, and I think we've brought a lot of people that are excited. This is Scott, who's helped submit all the plans. And I just wanted to thank you, city leaders and the Planning Commission, for your efforts to support us this evening. We're really excited to launch this preschool for children from 18 months up through TK in a creative, safe, loving learning environment for the children. Our program is spaciously spread out on 8.5 acres. As we've already said, we've got 4 play areas, 1 courtyard, and 3 outdoor areas. Fun-filled, creative classrooms. I've given you just a few pictures of that. Our kid-friendly campus is sponsored by Discovery Church. We have just a few people here with over 700 people who attend and support this exciting opportunity to touch kids' lives within our community. Over 100 volunteers have worked tirelessly the past 14 months to help beautify and secure our facilities and help create dynamic programs for the children for our estimated opening of August 19th. Children and families are excited as they are exploring our beautiful, secure facilities. A recent family with a curious 3-year-old had a hard time breaking away from all the fun and creative learning centers and educational toys recently when the preschooler came up to one of our learning centers and our creative reading centers with a huge child-filled crocodile in the reading center. And cuddling up to the crocodile, he exclaimed to his parents, "Crocodile, I love you. Mommy, I don't want to leave." And they quickly reminded him, "We'll be back soon. Are you excited?" And he shouted with a big grin, "So I can see my friend the crocodile." And I think that's what it's all about, is bringing these things to life for young preschoolers. Just as our preschool children are excited for school to begin, we can't wait to open our doors for the children to explore and feel secure in our loving, Christ-centered environment. And we want to thank you in advance for your support of this exciting launch of our preschool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any commissioner questions of the applicant?
Yeah, I have. Hi. At what capacity, at what max capacity do you anticipate
136.
136 students? Is the preschool going to be open to the public, or is it
Yes, it's open to
private?
the public. And the majority of people that are interested at this point are from the public, and especially all the housing that's all around us, all that new housing. Lots of people from that area are very interested. And there are very few toddler centers open for 18 months. So we're excited about that too. And we have quite a few people that are interested in the toddler center.
Thank you.
Questions?
No more questions. At this time, we will now open public testimony. The clerk will call upon each person who has requested to speak. Each member of the public wishing to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on the public hearing item. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, we have 4 speakers. Our first speaker is Roger Hansen, followed by Garrison Polsgrove.
Good evening. My name is Roger Hansen. I'm a Moreno Valley resident and also a member of the Discovery Church. And I want to start off by saying, in God we trust, and I'm sure that's why we're all here. I want to say that I've been teaching since I was 23. I'm still doing it. I'm 73. And if you take off 50 years, I want to see how old you would be in this room. If you can remember, we'd all be young, or some of us not here. And one thing, the reason I'm here is in that 50 years, I've learned a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things, as you might guess. And what I believe in the most is young children learning and learning about God. And not only does it teach the young children of tomorrow about God, but it brings in parents. Frankly, it's really true. Moreno Valley, especially in that area, is growing beyond all belief. And one of our beliefs is that you belong before you believe. I believe in that. And I just want to say I approve of this, and thank you, and in God we trust.
Our next speaker is Garrison Polsgrove, followed by Donna Woods.
My name is Garrison, I'm the senior pastor at Discovery, and
Patty, can we put the time there?
I'll be quick. I won't even need it. I promise. I'm not preaching. This is. You can come on Sunday to hear a message. Well, Discovery's been in the Moreno Valley since '84. We first met at Butterfield Elementary, and now we reside where we are on the east side. This has been a dream for many years, and because of Karen Winter and her coming on board to lead this preschool, it has now become a reality. And I am confident, because of her experience of 40 years of professional academic leadership, this will succeed, and it will be a great asset to Moreno Valley. Also, too, we will come alongside the Moreno Valley Unified School District to prepare students to have a head start and to give them a head start with their academics, as well as how to operate in a classroom setting. I urge you, please, with my strongest recommendation, to pass this measure so we can open this preschool. Thank you for all your work and for making Moreno Valley a great city, and because of you, the growth that we're seeing and your leadership over the years. So thank you.
Thank you.
next speaker is Donna Woods, followed by Bob Palomares.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm Donna Woods, and first I'd like to say thank you to all the Planning Commission members, first for your servant leadership. I have resided in Moreno Valley since 1983, before the city was even incorporated. I have served in the Moreno Valley School District since 1989. I serve as an educator both at Moreno Valley College and at Canyon Springs High School for cybersecurity. We've done multiple things together with the city, so again, thank you. As an educator, and if you look at the members here tonight in the audience, you can see that our church is reflective of our diverse community and the equity that we seek to serve. Our church is about serving. In fact, on Saturday, we're going to be part of the Community Serve Group, doing things for our city, which we know are extremely valuable in making a strong city. As an educator, I also understand by the students I see at the high school, those parents in the community we serve here, whether they're foster parents in our community, whether they're grandparents raising children, their children's children, whether they are a single parent, mother or father, or whether they are the parents that have to commute long distances to find gainful employment, we need to support all of these families and the diversity of all these families. I see the impact of the support or the lack of when those students get in high school. By having strong families and giving them strong foundational support from a very early age, well, that builds a strong community. Strong communities build strong cities. Strong cities, very strong counties. And Riverside is the second largest county in the nation. Strong counties have an impact on what's determined to go on in their state, and of course from the state to the nation. I am a proud and happy citizen of this beautiful community and have seen a lot of changes over 40 years. So again, thank you for your servant leadership. Thank you for your support of continuing in building strong families and a very strong, healthy, vibrant community here in Moreno Valley. And thank you for the support of the Discovery Preschool. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Mr. Bob Palomares.
Good evening again. My wife always says that take the kids to church and plant the seed of God in them, because as they go through life, they'll always have it. And when they get my age, you better be praying. But I think this is a wonderful project, and it's vital because there's a shortage. I mean, and I've got a lot of granddaughters. One granddaughter lives over here. She works at the hospital on the East End. She's got little girls. I guess the youngest one is like a year and a half maybe. But this is a good thing for her because it's hard to find places to take your kids when you're working. And this should be an easy decision. So let's make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more speakers.
At this time, would the applicant like to provide any additional information? No? Okay. This time, if there are no more speakers for public testimony, then we will close the public testimony and move on to deliberations or a motion and second on the item. Do we have any motion? Do we have any further deliberations?
Want to go, Terrell?
Yeah, there's a few.
I just want to say, as the last speaker said, there is a need. I have seen where a lot of the daycares have closed down, especially during COVID. And I know that to get the child ready for kindergarten, it's very important. I remember when I was a parent and I got a call from the teacher of my first child, and he's going to be 54 years old. And my mother used to take care of him. And when I got that call and they said, he doesn't know how to do his numbers, he doesn't know I was shocked. But Mom was giving him a lot of love. But she wasn't a teacher. So I just know the value of that. And the education, that is so important for our kids, because in this area of our schools, we're lacking in that. The children are not prepared. So I, for one, am elated that you are doing this, and I hope a lot of others will follow suit. Because I do know they're starting the TK at the schools, but there's a lot of kids in those classrooms. So I, for one, am, elated that you have done this and that it's a positive thing, and because our children are our future. So I, for one, will be voting for it.
Any other comment?
I was just gonna second that notion. I remember 10 years ago when my wife and I were looking for a preschool for my son, and a couple things I was really surprised at the cost, number one, and I was also surprised at how very few options there was. Some of these preschools were kind of corporate type preschools that, and I couldn't believe and it was just a business. It didn't have no personal feel to it, and that's why I asked of how many students. 134 students, preschool students in that area. That's my area, 92555, would definitely benefit. So I'm really happy to see that we're opening something like that in that area.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes, thank you. It will be an asset to our community. And I would like to say, education starts at the earliest possible age. And study after study shows that the earlier a child begins learning, the better he or she does down the road. And these kids that will attend this new preschool will move on to bigger and better things in kindergarten, and they will go on to be prepared to succeed. And the parents out there will have a peace of mind that your child will be in a safe and high quality learning environment every single day. And what we are approving today, which I'm going to be in support, is all about giving our kids the best possible shot at a greater quality of life and giving them every chance to go as far as their hard work and God-given potential will take them. And these kids that attend this preschool are the ones who are going to write the next chapter in this great city's story. And I'm going to support it.
Commissioner?
I do know Donna Woods. I've known her for many, many years. As you guys know, I've been in education for over 30 years. And as Donna says, we can see it. We can see there's big differences. This is very positive. Not only preschool is very, very advantageous for young students, but just I cannot tell you the overall umbrella of the protection and the love from God and God's loving and God-fearing people to be in children's lives. Trust me, every single day I walk on the campus, they're all angels. They're all angels. They're definitely all angels, and some have bigger wings than others. I'd be willing to bet on a longitudinal study to see the difference in children that went to a Christian preschool and where they end up later on or how they operate within the school. And I bet you there's going to be a huge positive correlation with that. I would love to see that. I would probably stand flat-footed and firm and say with God as my witness, there's going to be a very big positive correlation in how the children operate in school, how they interact with others, how they deal with their teachers, and the information that they're going to learn at the preschool. So this is absolutely wonderful. It's about time. Do another one.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to add, I definitely understand the value of the preschool. Kind of touching what Commissioner Dejanay said, my children went to preschool at St. Christopher Catholic Church in the early 2010s, and it was a great opportunity for them. It opened their eyes to their faith and to their and got them prepared to go into elementary school. And I think Discovery Christian is they're right at the spot. You know, all the development that's occurring around it. A lot of our new residents are going to see that there's an opportunity to tap into that and gain an upper hand, you know, in our educational opportunities. So this is great. It's great for our neighborhoods. It's great for Moreno Valley, and it's great for that part of town. Thank you. So, do we have a motion and a second to accept staff recommendations?
I'll motion for the resolution.
Is there a second?
Do you have to read that number?
Okay, it's right up there. 204.
You do not have to read the number. You can motion to approve staff's recommendation, which is adoption of
I
the
motion to
resolution.
approve staff recommendations.
I'll second.
A motion by Commissioner Zeitz and a second by Commissioner Steffens. May we please start the vote? Item is approved, 7-0. Can we have a staff wrap-up, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The decision here tonight is an appealable action to the City Council. If anybody wishes to appeal this decision, they can do so by filing an application with the Community Development Director and including the associated fees before the end of the appeal period. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. The next item on the agenda is other commission business. We have one item, Planning Commission rules and procedures. May we please have the staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Robert Flores, planning official again. It's a short presentation. This item was added to the agenda as an introductory item for the commission. There will be no presentation or discussion. It's to inform you that the Planning Commission rules and regulations does require that that document and the rules and regulations are reviewed yearly. And so that effort is being initiated and commences today. There will be a selection of 2 members of the Planning Commission as a subcommittee to move this effort forward and review the guidelines and propose any changes, if any, to the commission in a subsequent meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Robert. So do we vote on the subcommittee?
There's no action necessary.
No action necessary, okay.
And just for clarification, the appointment of the subcommittee is going to be done by the chair, and those that are selected will be notified.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
No comments. Besides one thing, I would like to thank Grace for her presentation. Well done. And thank the commission for your efforts.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is planning commissioner comments on items under the purview of the planning commission. Do we have any commissioner comments? Commissioner Zeitz?
I just have a couple questions. Regarding our 2040 general plan update that was voted on, or a action was taken again on the city council at the last meeting, is there any way to clarify what that action was? Because I've been getting a lot of questions like, what did they vote on, what's going on, that type of thing. I realize some of it may be still under litigation, but is there some clarification we can get on that?
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and send a memo to the Planning Commission regarding that particular issue. Because it's still considered to be pending litigation, but obviously the action taken by the City Council was a public action. So I'd prefer that I send you a memo that details exactly what they did and what the impact of that decision is.
Thank you.
Any others? No? Okay. Seeing none, the Planning Commission meeting is adjourned at 6:35 p.m. At our next regular meeting on July 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Thank you.